Okay, we're a minute early here, but I might as well get things going. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the later stream, and the stream is going to be shorter than ones that I've done in the past. I'm going to try and keep it to about an hour. There we go. But I've got a few random little things that are on my desk here that I want to do some work on. I wanted to pop some of the parts of this house kit out and put them together. Wanted to do a little bit more work on the Microtrains Magnamatic car, and then we'll maybe do a little bit of paint scheme design work, because I've got some stuff to do. But before we do any of that, I want to say, first of all, good evening, everyone. Good to see you all. Garrett, Paul, Adam. Adam, I wish you the best of luck. That with that print, I really hope that you can keep that thing going, because that's I'm glad to hear you got the first layer to go. So I got my fingers crossed for you as well. Paul, I agree. Leroy Jenkins! I hope I didn't explode everyone's ears with that. But I couldn't help myself. Scott, good evening. Welcome in. Alright. So before we get into going over, or getting into some of the work from tonight, we're going to do tonight, I've got a little bit of show and tell to do. Sunday was the Albany Great Train Extravaganza in the Egg, and now the dogs are barking. Oh, jeez, Scott. You just can't win, can you? But at the GTE, I had a great time. I was there pretty much all day. Finally got to meet Brandon and Banu face to face. It was good to see them. Good to chat with them a bit. And when I met them and, first got to know them, Banu said, here you go. Here's this. What's this? Well, it's a Christmas present from Banu of a beautifully built kit that he assembled for me. Believe this is one of the Model Power kits. Just a little house kit, but Banu did a beautiful job of getting it all put together, and that's an easy enough fix, is just getting that chimney back on there. But it is a real nice house, and he gave me the downspouts and the shutters, should I so desire to put them on. But he figured, they're a little fiddly, so it's probably best to leave those be for until I choose. And some very minor damage from being in the box. But Banu, I haven't seen you out there tonight, but thank you so much for the house. It's really came out. It's really quite beautiful, and I think you did a great job with it. And I haven't decided for sure what I'm going to do with it yet. It might wind up on a T-Track module at some point, or it might wind up on the Christmas Village that my girlfriend and I are building in N-scale to go around the Christmas tree. I got to decide, but regardless, thank you so much for this. I was not expecting it, and it was a very pleasant surprise. So I greatly appreciate, the little present. It was very fun to get to finally meet you face to face, and you too, Brandon. If you guys ever watched back the stream, it was really good to meet you guys face to face and get to know you a little bit. So thank you so much for saying hi, and Banu, thanks for the house. So that was the one of the things I got. I did limit myself pretty well, but I did. There's a couple things that I got that I was like, yeah, I really need this. including caught a wire. That way I can finish wiring on the Hopewell modules. I also got, speaking of some of the random projects that we are doing tonight, I got some Woodland Scenics dock workers. Got some crates and stuff, and you know, they're doing some work and things. This is going to be for the Microtrans car. I'm gonna probably remove some of these boxes and glue some coupler parts to folks' hands, and then they'll be unloading the coupler parts out of the box car. So I picked up these. Scott, Seth, excuse me, good evening. Good to have you in. Yes, I did get the house, Paul. So I did get those workers to put in the box car. That way I have some guys unloading the coupler parts. I also picked up, I have a few of these, but this one is going to be for a specific purpose. This is a Atlas, little Atlas 2-bay. Come on. There it is. The little Atlas 2-bay PS2 card hopper. This is going to become, you know, right now it's, I don't even know, it's like some patched out car. It actually looks pretty interesting as is, but it's Grupo Tolteca ENDX. But regardless of what it is, it's going to become a BNCCS solo car. To go onto the layout and get switched along with Paul's GWTX. Big assault car, and get picked up and dropped off at the transload. So that might be one of the things we do tonight, depending on how things feel, is design the scheme for this car that I gotta figure out. It's gonna be fairly minimal, but it'll be pretty good. Yes, it will. We're getting salty. We're getting salty, Paul. So that was pretty much all that I got for most of the show, and then there was about 10 minutes left in the show, and there was something that had caught my eye. This vendor had been at a few different shows that I'd seen, that I'd been at in the past 6-7 months, and this item had been at his shop every time, and it hadn't been purchased yet, and it really caught my eye. But every time I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. But with 10 minutes left, I went back and I was like, I'm just gonna get it because it's a good price. And that is a lifelike C424. And this is lettered for the Ottawa Central. So I have a conundrum to do with this engine. It's a very nice engine. I really didn't need another engine, but I was like, well, I know the 424s are nice from lifelike. It was like $60. It's beautiful engine. And then also I took it out of the box and realized someone had added a bell to the side of the engine there. You can kind of see it. I have zoom. What am I doing? Zoom. There it is. So my original thought was, it does not have the low nose headlight. No, it's the exact same mold as every other lifelike C424, but it does. The person who added the side mount bell did add the colored dots on the class lights, which is quite nice. But yes, I have the New Haven painted 424 that I got rid of the dynamic equipment and filled in the vents on the side, and I need to add the rain cover over the intake, and I need to modify the rear number boards, and inset them. That way it actually looks like the New Haven's 425s. But they're good engines. They've run really nicely, and they're pretty nicely detailed. And this is the late run of them. This is the latest, I believe, the last run before Lifelike went out of business, and all their stuff got sold off to Atlas or Walthers, and then eventually Atlas. But it's a beautiful engine, and it's really nicely done. But my conundrum comes with the Ottawa Central. So I was not really familiar with the Ottawa Central. I gotta admit, I really wasn't. Yes, I agree, Joey. Also, welcome. Good evening, Joey. Good to have you. Who does not want another engine? Everyone wants another engine. But this one, I had some justification for it, which was, it could be the 424 that the BNCCS got from the GWT in exchange for the SD40-2s. But then I started looking at the Ottawa Central, and the Ottawa Central is really neat. And apparently, Lifelike only did a short run, like a very small run of Ottawa Central 424s. And I haven't been able to find any others online. So I have to do some looking into, is what it comes down to. But I have a couple options on the table. LANL 425. I'm sure that Rick and Paul would be happy about that, but I just couldn't justify doing LANL 425. If it was going to become a New Haven spec 425, it would just go into the New Haven paint. It just would, But I have a couple options on the table with this that I've thought about. One is the obvious option, which is strip it down, repaint it for the BNCCS, or do the patch job like I'm going to wind up doing with the Lehigh Valley units, the double patch. Oh, Scott! There's your 25 catching yourself up, I presume. Thank you so much for all that you've put in. That puts us at just shy of 2,100. I put the goal up to 2,250 for our, pushing through to December, because I'm not pushing it super hard. But the fundraiser is ongoing for anyone who would like to donate. Money's again going to Breakthrough T1D to support diabetes research and type 1 diabetes research and awareness campaigns. But it's you all have been so generous with the campaign this year, and I can't thank you guys enough. But Scott, thank you so much for keeping up. But, so, Garrett, exactly. As someone trying to find rare paints, it pains you that I would be repainting. So, the other option on the table would be basically to sell it on again, now that I've kind of learned how rare of a paint that this unit is. So I have to do some research into it and find out how rare it really was. If it was like 100 units of them were made, then that's not that rare for the Lifelike runs. That was pretty, 50 to 100 units in each scheme. But I have to figure out what I would want to do with it. True, Joey. I could always open up a new rabbit hole. See, that's the thing, Paul. I don't know how rare they are, because I've looked it up. I haven't been able to find anything about them. N scale. See, 420. Yeah, I couldn't find any on recent sales on eBay. I can't find any. You know, I'm scrolling through Google Images. I can't even find anything. So I don't know what I don't know what to do. I'm kind of stuck. So what I might see about doing is I might reach out to some people that know some things, and if anyone knows, you know, how rare these really are in the Ottawa Central scheme. Well, yes, that's the lifelike C424. Yes, I know that, Garrett. Well, that was the initial 2002 run. This model, I believe. I mean, let me double check actually. Oh, actually, this one might be from that original 2002 run. So 180 units. 180 units isn't that rare. I've read this page a dozen times, Garrett, and I somehow missed that line at the top. So hold on, let me look around at this. Oh yeah, Lifelike Products Canada. Huh. So this is, I guess, the earlier run, not the later run of these. I thought it was the earlier run. Well, 180 units isn't as rare as I thought it was going to be. So I'm not sure now. Now I'm very now I'm leaning more back towards doing the repaint. I don't know. I got a choice to make, but either way, this is a beautiful model, and I'm happy to have it, even if it doesn't stay with me for very long. It was really cool to find that someone had done the bell on the side, and you know, I'll put it in. I'll put it through its paces and stuff. So. Sounds like I have the 2002. You would say 180 is rare by today's. Probably about only 100 still in great shape. Yeah. I don't know. I might throw it out there on something and see if there's any interest in it. And if I don't find any interest in it, then I might strip it down. But if there is interest, I would probably be happy to sell it on again. It's one of the only low-nose headlight units Atlas ever did in HO, so I bet I am not the only one that's repainted an HO one. You would say, do whatever you do, it's my model, have fun with it. Yep, yeah. I'm not overly worried about it. I'm wondering if it would mean more to someone else and they would pay money for it, that then I could reinvest into another model that, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Is I got it at a really good price. I could sell it on to someone who would want it as an Ottawa Central unit and get money to put towards something that someone would care less about. So, yeah, exactly, Paul. That's the way it's leaning, but especially since the D&H 424 has got such an easy scheme to paint. Not just the blue dip with the yellow safety stripes. I mean, what I could do is, here, let me pull up. I can't get too into the weeds here because well, the other thought though, Paul, is do I just do it, or do I wait for this and then just paint the shield in yellow, paint the sides blue, and then put a GWT patch on there, cross it out, put a BNCCS patch on there? You know? Because this is... Because I could also... That is less work, Joey. You are right. I wonder... I'm trying to see now, real quick, if... Good things come to those who wait sometimes. Yeah. Especially if what I think is true is true. I gotta find it on the page here. You know what, let me just do this, because I think it would be on Train World. N scale C424. Dennis, good evening. Welcome in. We're just kind of... Oh, does Atlas not have... Or did they not have the Atlas pre-orders? Atlas? Pre-order, yes. Can't stay long. 4 a.m. comes early. Yeah. Well, we're not going to be too long on the stream tonight. We're going down a rabbit hole real quick of trying to see if we can find Atlas, the upcoming Atlas C424s, which are the old lifelike molds, retooled in DNH. There's a Jeep 39 in DNH. Okay, so this was all in the same announcement. C420, C424 silver. What I'm looking for is to see if, because I know that's kind of expensive. I might be willing to go for it. But I believe this is going to be the gold line one. Yep. Right? Yeah. With that price, I assume that's going to be the gold, which I think is going to have... Yeah, the gold version features a Tsunami 2 decoder. Alco 424 prime mover sounds recorded from the prototype. So, I could just wait for this to come out for this job. So, I don't know. What I might do... The third option, which is what I strongly considered, is... If we jump back to the page here, shifting the Ottawa Central's timeline forward, 15 years or so. I don't know. I have a few options, but for now, I think I'm just gonna leave it as is, and then we'll look into leave our options open for a minute. But regardless, I'm happy to have this. I'm happy to have everything I got at the show. Sean, good evening. We're not going to be spending too long on stream tonight, but just showing off some... Yep, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Paul. I think I'm going to keep it for a little bit, because I like it. I really like... Oops. Knocked the horn off. I really like the way the Auto Central has the big OC on the nose and the rear. Is that a reserve that's higher? Yeah, maybe. I haven't played too much with reserves on eBay, but yeah. That would be the way to do it. John, good evening. Hello. Showing off some of my train show acquisitions from the Albany GTE, which was this past Sunday. You have some stuff to get on eBay. You've been procrastinating. Yeah, I know that feeling. I was procrastinating putting stuff on eBay for a while, and then I just finally sat down and did it all. But anyways, that's what I picked up at the shelf. So let's get some work in here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to keep sanding down the width of this door, so it's not quite as thick. Need to recoup some workbench expenses. Yeah, that workbench is coming out really nice though, Paul. As much as I like this table that I have, this desk that I have, with my workbench kind of off to the left and my computer off to the right. Can't lie when I say I cannot lie and say I'm not jealous of your upcoming workbench. It's looking real nice. Let me actually jump to the higher grit sandpaper. Yeah, certainly. Now we're starting to get to the thickness that I want. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm score and snap wouldn't be quicker. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reduce the depth of the door, Joey. So score snap is not really an option. Yeah, the thickness. Yeah, there you go. If I was trying to make it a smaller door, absolutely. This is the door that I cut out of this boxcar, which I literally spent all stream last week doing. It's we started off like this, and now we are basically the idea with this project is I got this. I won this in a raffle at Springfield last year with the Northeast N-Track T-Tracks Winterfest. And the idea is to put the door in the open position now, and then put some of these workers into the car and have them unloading Microtrains coupler parts, because it's, root of the Magnumatics, the complete coupler system. So that's kind of the idea with what we're doing. And, it'll just be a little joke car, and I'll set it up on a little diorama with a little loading dock for the folks to be unloading couplers. I think because I would never run a car like this on my layout. As fun as it is, I would never run it. I just want it as a door prize, basically. I believe it. I can't remember exactly. It was either door prize or it was you get a free car, and that was the one that I happened to get. Just for signing up for Winterfest. But regardless, it's something I would never. Yeah, exactly. I never run the funny cars. I wouldn't. I would have just sold it, but every year at Winterfest, they have their little competitions. So I'm gonna. Just like last year, I'm gonna put some things into the competition to And it's not like a judging competition or anything. It's basically gets put on display, and everyone walking through the show, when they walk past the end track layout, you can vote on who wants, who is the best in the various categories. And one of the categories is like joke cars or funny cars or silly cars or whatever, or silly scenes or whatever it is. So I'm gonna put this in, because I think that would be a lot of fun, and it actually gives a purpose to this car. It like gives me some modeling to do, and cutting the door out, putting it in the right way, and doing all that, and makes fun. Gives me a purpose for having this car, so I don't just get rid of it. I think we're just about at the point where I want it. Let me go back to the finer grain sandpaper here. Finer grit, rather. By the way, Joey and Paul, I have been working on that writing assignment that I've been given. I think I'm finally starting to get there. I have some concepts on, towards the end of the story, and over the course of the week, I will be, by the end of the week, I think I'll be sharing it with you guys, and you guys can give me some feedback, and we can push it towards release. Yeah. I have the first bit of it, I think, in a pretty good spot. I'm working on it, I promise. So we make a car with 5 wheels, circular grab irons, a kayak for a roof walk, and call it the AI generator. That would actually be a really good one, Joey. That would be really funny. Alright, let's see. Is that... Yeah, that's a much... I've gotten rid of like half of the depth of that door. And that looks much better. Don't forget the... Yeah, you can't forget the AI snow. Oh, jeez. So funny. So that'll go right there. And then some of these little guys will go on the... Some of these guys go right in here. Oh! Come back here, man. You can't get off work. But, yeah, I got these little, loading dock workers and things. We've got to have the supervisor just standing around watching. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get these guys, some of these guys loaded up into the box car and stuff, but I'll do that all off stream because I have to figure out what coupler parts I want to put where and do all that. So that'll be that for that tonight. That'll do for that project. So let's jump over to... You have those exact figures at HO? Oh, that's great. Yeah, Woodland Scenics, further... they may not make the best scenery products, but they make a lot of really great figures. And they do make some pretty good scenery products. Yeah, they're not the highest quality out there, but they make some great figures. So let's get this out of the way. They're in the background of your eBay listing photos? That's so funny. Alright. I think the next thing we're going to jump to is this... we might do a little bit on this laser art kit tonight. Let's see, what is the... first step here? All right, I think I'm gonna do the general assembly right now, which is just kind of the outline of the building. Sounds good, Joey. Have a good night. Thanks for jumping in for a little bit. Like I said, I promise I will get you guys the the outline that I've been writing up by the end of the week. And if I don't, then you guys can yell at me about it. That'll be my motivation. Where on earth did I put my X-Acto knife? We've now reached, because Paul was all on the computer, he didn't do nearly enough searching tonight for things. So it's my turn to do all the searching for things that should be right in front of me and simply aren't. Where the heck did I put my X-Acto blade? Don't overthink it. The circle it took. See, Paul, that's the problem. I overthink everything. That's why my railroad's history is like 8 pages. I am trying to keep it, pretty basic, but I can't help myself. I truly can't. Where the heck is my X-Acto? Hello? Is it on my layout? It might be over on the layout. I've been moving all sorts of things around as I'm slowly starting to consolidate things and sort of pack things up. That way I can get my move going. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm officially, the goal is to be moved. I think I'm gonna try and be living in my grandmother's house by next week. And I think next week I'll still have my stream here, but then the following week should be the first stream over in the new house, or I'll have a night off. Either way. I'm going to jump over my layout real quick and see if I left my X-Acto over there. I don't know where the heck this thing could have gone. Where on earth? Oh. I found it. I beat you, Paul. That's good, Adam. That's really good to hear. That it seems to finally be going acceptably. Dang it. Alright, let's go ahead and... Am I working on camera? No, I'm not. When I move into my new space, I might rethink my camera setup, make it a little, excuse me, a little better for you all. And for me to actually keep working on camera. You slowed down the first layer to 10 millimeters per second. Changed a bunch of settings. Now you need to make sure you use those in the second color. Well, at least you seem to have gotten something figured out to actually make it work, so that's good. So I'm not 100% certain I like this color now that it's fully dry, but I think I'm gonna just stick with it because since it's a light gray, I can always go over it with another color. The thing is, the actual house that it's supposed to be standing in for is like a off-white / light gray. So I think it's alright. I think what I might have done is I might have to do one more layer of it over the darker color. I think I might have weathered it just a little bit too much in the initial paint pass. And by weather it, I mean dry brushed. Back to Circa, that write-up is 535 words, and the new one would need to be similar in length. Okay, that's a good goal. I'll try to limit myself to that. I promise I won't write 8 pages, I'll tell you that. What is it right now? Let me pull it up. It's right here. I'm currently at 270 and it's rough. A lot of it is roughed in. So I think it's I'm doing okay. Just don't ramble any more than you. Paul, have you met me? Don't you know that my middle name is Ramble? Nah, I'll keep myself restrained. I'll keep myself restrained. Thank you for yelling at me, Adam. I appreciate that. See, I wouldn't have known. They've written songs about us. Just keep on rambling on. I think I'm gonna try and get like the dry fit of this house together. That I was as well. Lord, I was born a rambling man. It's a great song, by the way. I'm gonna try and get to the point where I can do dry assembly of this house tonight, and then once that's done, we'll jump to the salt hopper maybe. Might be time for a new blade, but I'm loath to get another new blade out right now since I'm not really doing precision work. I'm just cutting through the little connectors onto the thing here, onto the spruce. Alright, 3 more pieces, and that should be good for dry assembly for tonight. Because I think I'm not gonna dry assemble the porch tonight. I'm just gonna dry assemble the house structure itself. There's one side of the dormer. There's the middle of the dormer. Other side of the dormer, and there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and do some dry assembly here. So let me open up the laser art instruction set here. I need this wall. This wall goes here. This wall goes here. Right, let me lay it out like this. And this wall goes here. Alright. And obviously the dormer. This goes over here. We got this wall. This all goes like this. Nope. Like this. There we go. goes right there. Yeah, I'm not sure where that triangle piece there goes. Where does that go? Ah, I see. That's to structure the roof. That's to structure the subroof. Alright. I think I'm going to go ahead and actually just do the full assembly of it tonight. Or at least the assembly of the main walls. So let's go ahead and open up the canopy glue. Let's give myself a little reservoir of that somewhere. So I need something to do it onto. Sure. Decal sheet. Why not? It's an empty decal sheet. So let's put a little pile of that on there. Let's put some glue on that face. Those faces. And same on the far side. Actually, that one needs a little bit of shaving. Clean up the spots where it was held in on the sprue. Do you still call it a sprue if it's wood? I don't know. All right, there we go. Before all my canopy glue dries, let's get that all glued together. There we go. Now we're starting to look like we're actually building something. So I assume this goes in like that, right? Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and there, there, and there. Like this, okay. Glue there, and then on the inside face right here. And bam. Glued all that together, and then I just gotta glue this one onto the side. There we go. All right. And where does this dormer go? Or it's not actually a dormer, is it a dormer? Oh, it's not a dormer, it's a back entry. Okay. I see, it goes in right there. Trying to keep this corner glued. Adding a small amount of CA in there to really hold this corner. There we go. Let's get this back entry put together. There's my 11 o'clock alarm. It's time to start wrapping this up, but I think I can show you a little bit of my graphic design process and how I design my paint schemes before we wrap the stream. Nope. Sounds good, Scott. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night, and thanks again so much for all the donations to the cause. It means a ton. There we go. Sweet. So that's the majority of the house structure assembled. So now the next step would be to go in and do the windows, I believe. So maybe you'll do that next week, or maybe I'll do that off camera, or I don't know. 40% is still going. That's awesome, Adam. I'm so glad to hear that. All right, so this is how I'm going to be doing this car. Actually, let me just do it like this. Stamp tool. So this is the official Atlas art for one of these cars, and I'm using that as a starting point. A lot of times I'll try and find undecorated. This is stamp tool. There it is. I'll try and find undecorated what am I trying to say? Undecorated drawings, basically. To do my paint schemes. But for this one, I want it to be a gray car anyway, so I don't mind. Kind of repainting. nice and clean. Just get rid of all this. There we go, nice and clean. Tomorrow's canning and baking day. Well, that sounds fun. So in case you're not quite sure what I'm doing here, my goal is basically to just eliminate all of the lettering on the car. That way I have a nice clean slate for all the lettering that I want to do. You have roasted and pureed 3 more pumpkin pies, have over half a gallon of turkey stock. Stock is getting canned since you don't have room for the freezer for both. Sweet. That's awesome. Alright, there we go. So that's our stock image. Save that. And then we're going to also save as a JPEG, or not a JPEG, a PNG. Save, because then what I can do is select color range of white, delete that. Oh, whoops, need to unlock it. Then I can delete it. Ah, see, that's the issue with having a JPEG. Alright, well, you know what? We don't need it as a PNG anyway. Because it's not like I'm gonna be enhancing it or anything. I just need it as a base, onto which to put all the data I want. And you have 8 batches of cookies due. Oh man, that sounds like a fun day. Busy day, but a fun day. So basically, my process for designing, you need to do work on the silent decals again. You set it aside with show and holidays. Yeah, absolutely. How I do my stuff, and this might be different from person to person, but I save all sorts of, I have all sorts of undecorated drawings and things like that. So here's from the Diesel, or from Trainiacs rather. an undecorated RS11 that I use to develop my RS11 scheme. But we're gonna grab my PS2, drop it here. Oops, why is it in Photoshop? No, I want it in Illustrator. Because I Illustrator for all my graphics, that way it's vector art. Oops, no, I have 2 of them. I don't want 2 of them. So once I have it into Illustrator here, I can go crazy. I can go ahead and grab go into my BNCCS folder, which has all sorts of BNCCS things, including I believe this is the final logo, right? Yeah. So I grab the logo, Control C, Control V. And actually, I need to go into that file and adjust these because these need to be like that. There we go. Now it matches what I've been doing most recently. I need to go to layers. I need to add a new layer for all of my actual graphics, and then I need to lock the layer with the art. And then once this is here, I can start, figuring out where I want all the graphics to go. Bus reveal. You have all the parts for the bus now. Sweet. So I can decide now. All right, do I want this to sit, over the ribs, kind of like this, or do I want it to go onto a plate? I think I want it to go onto a plate. So it'd have a plate roughly like that, which has a black border. Nope. Black, which is 2 points, sure. And then I can rearrange my order in here so that this is on top of that. Pull both of these down a bit. Actually, I think I would want it to be more like this. There we go. Now it looks right. I think I would want it to be on a... So I would either want that, or I would want a little logo. Oops. In like that. So I have both of those options now. I can go back and forth and play with that. But then, I'd go in and do the font, which I can't recall off the top of my head. So what I'll do is I'll just go into... You think the panel looks better? All right. I like the panel. I definitely like the panel. We'll just grab a font panel or a text box from this. Copy that. Jump over here. Paste it. What's the number range I did for my other card hoppers? Excuse me. 6,000 series. So we'll have these in the 5,000 series. And we'll actually, because it's on a gray car, we'll make the font black. Center justify all of this. And we will horizontally align those and just bring them like here. Actually, no, these need to be a little bigger. And they ought to be broken over this. Actually should be right justified here and left justified there. That's a little too big. I think that looks about right. Quickly a good reference for all the car data. But anyways, you kind of get the, probably poking the bear. Haven't had any issues in the last few hours. Woo! Yep, now that you've said that, though. I'm sure you'll have some issues. Alright, anyways. You've been in any round with my audio in the background, just pop back in. Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to find a good reference for data. And for some reason I can't. Even though I know Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania has... Oh, you know what? I just look up the road number. 32367. Central 30. What did I just say? What numbers? 32367. Pictures of your whole thing with the 4 different freight. For soil is you want all the font to be cohesive. When you took photos, each of the data fonts were different. So that's why I literally type up all the car data again. In a cohesive font for the rest of the... So like on a lot of my cars, the car data is either the same font as, you know, I do for the rest of my lettering, or I'll do you know, one unified font that I've picked for car data, which then would actually the story basically goes, at least the way I'm thinking about it, is it eventually became the standard font for the rest of the railroad. Excuse me. So for this I think would be, let's go here. Whoops. There we go. I'll probably just put the data in here, and then we will wrap the stream. So this needs to be a little, no, not quite that small, more like that, sure. And then I need the font to be, no, it wasn't Helvetica. Shoot, what was the font that I used? It's the font on the 5344. Hope that your printer will print the end scale decently. It's 1200 ppi. 1200 ppi ought to do the trick. Oh, this is the wrong file. I have like 17 files for my 5344s, and I really ought to clean them all out. That way I know what's what. True, actually, yeah. DPI would, I think, actually be correct. Tahoma Bold, that's what it is. Okay. Tahoma Bolds. So actually do need to make this a little bit smaller. Stop! Why are you going so far away? Come back! capacity, load limit, lightweight. And all of these should be left justified and roughly centered here. And we'll do this, and we will right justify. Capacity is 140K. Load limit is 162.2. Lightweight is 52,800. So that's a good start anyway. Is the computer handling Illustrator right now, or did you get it fixed? Speaking of that, Jiggy, thanks. Yeah, it's handling Illustrator all right now. It goes through fits and spurts, but it seems to be handling things okay tonight. I don't know what I did, but I kind of bonked it. So, anyways, it seems to be working right. But I think I might wrap it up here. The idea is, we'll get this. We have this on the plate. I'll have the consolidated stencil and COTS box down here. Oh, that's why this looks strong. It's because it's supposed to be here. Or at least that's where it is on the... I like that better. Yeah. There we go. So now I can bring these over. Those over. There we go. So yeah. Consolidated stencil and COTS box and stuff down here. We'll have our Mount Morris information down here, or maybe I might do another salt mine for the earlier stuff. No, I probably would do Mount Morris as well. And I'll look into, I'll touch base with you other salty folks out there, and try and figure out what would be accurate for something to be salty. For something salty in the 80s, 70s and 80s. So, but in any case, it's 3 random projects that we've made good progress on tonight. So, with that said and done, thank you folks so much for tuning in. I know it's a little bit shorter than we usually run, but I almost didn't stream at all tonight. So, I'm glad that I decided to hop in. But I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all have a good rest of your evening, and I will see you all on the next track.